Yo, welcome Flyffers to another video. Today we're going to take a look at the question and answer from December to January that was posted by the staff today. I haven't looked at it at all, so yeah, let's get some first-time reactions on it. I will try to explain in detail if answers are like important, if the answers given are maybe giving you a hint on a preparation for the expansion, stuff like this. So let's get it started. Here, question. Since we are playing on web-based platform, do you have plans to integrate any or digital currency such as crypto? There's an ongoing project to implement something of the sort, although as we mentioned before, it will be completely separated service than the regular Flyff Universe. We do not currently have any timeline on the progress of this service though. Okay, so many people are probably going to like reading this because crypto games don't have a good reputation, and for a reason. Crypto games can be exploited by bots even more heavily than MMOs. It's direct money, right? And they can't even handle the normal bot problem. So like releasing a crypto game with Flyff Universe would be a horrible idea if they can't even fix it there. But they are saying it's going to be separate services, so we are all good. And this right here, it's not true. We don't have a timeline on the progress of the service. I am pretty sure in the stock report of Gala, they gave a timeline for this service. But like I'm too lazy to check it now and it's not that important. So question number 2. Hey, thanks for bringing back such a great game to us. Anyways, I'm not sure if this was answered from your previous Q&A. I just want to know myself if you have plans to add rebirth features, especially for 140 max. Okay, so we have already answered this. There's going to be a rebirth feature. That is the master system we already explained in an older video. So if you're interested, just check this out. Then we have all the information there. And it's also like really player friendly, this system. Why haven't there been any class buff nerfs for a long time? After some feedback, we prefer to perform more testing on balance-related changes, as very frequent balance changes impact the time investment players put in their builds quite heavily. Okay, so as an argument, that makes sense, but still, as a publisher, you're required to hotfix stuff immediately if it is broken. But I think at the moment, PvP balance is in a pretty decent state. The only class that is currently off position is the blade that can only be played as a tank, but is probably like one of the best tanks available at the moment. Might be even better than a knight as a tank. And yeah, so if blade gets the opportunity to also deal some more damage in PvP, I think the PvP is not in that bad of a state that you need constant changes at the moment, and their argument makes a lot of sense. To prevent RMT transactions of characters, will there be a scroll of job change in the future? What? No, we do not currently have any plans for this. Okay. I'm stumbling about like what does RMT transactions have to do with a scroll of job change? Don't get the connection there, to be honest. Like, if there would be a scroll of job change, RMT transactions would exist exactly like they are. Like, a scroll of job change would not reduce RMT transactions at all. Because RMT transactions, the majority is not accounts, it's just plain tenure that people are buying. Because it's like a lot harder to get caught selling an account, like than getting caught selling tenure. So like, I would say the majority of the black market is only tenure sales. Will you consider allowing F-tools macros since people are using it and aren't getting banned since day one? Instead of allowing macros, we have plans to create our own equipment switching system that will be equally accessible to all players. This answer makes sense. Their reaction to saying we are going to ban macros now even though we haven't released our system yet makes no sense because it's just not playable in PvP. Or if you obey to the rules, you have a significant downside. So for example, if you, hypothetically, if you switch with a macro, like you can switch 2 rings, a suit, and a weapon. The way I do it at the moment is I cut down and I now switch only suit and ring, so I can do it by hand, but otherwise it's not fast enough. So like I have a significant downside because I'm currently following their rule, but other players are like still using the macros even though there was an announcement and they are not getting punished. So like this announcements make no sense and just made the community mad and now gave an imbalance to PvP because some people are following the rule and others are not. And before this announcement, everyone was basically using a macro. Is it possible to add a voice chat in-game? Okay, yeah, like there's no reason to add a voice chat in-game. Like in-game voice chats are in most games only used for flaming, yelling at each other. They provide no benefit, and Discord provides so much space for everyone that you can just go there and talk to the people, and Discord is so common, like everyone has it. Is it possible to have a raid party with more than 8 people? It's currently not possible, or you could consider expanding party limits in the future. Okay, I hope this also includes some of the new dungeons they're going to release, because like depending on how smart they're releasing the dungeons, so like the more people are running a dungeon together, the more drop rate you basically get, so you don't have this problem that Flyff always has, where like running dungeons solo is better than actually doing it together in a team, even though it's a multiplayer game, so which makes no sense. So I hope if they are sticking to 8 and not increasing it, they are at least making sure that the new dungeons have a decent drop rate if you do it with more people. Can we expect to have raid bosses? Like, if yes, can we expect it not to be as laggy as Halloween raid bosses, which was horrible? We can expect some kind of raid bosses in the future inside dungeons and content alike. These kind of fights would not be as laggy as the Halloween event was server-wide. As for another server-wide fight similar to the Halloween event, we would like to improve the system first and fix previous mistakes before attempting it a second time. Okay? Like for example, during the Halloween event, I was turning off all players and I did a invasion guide for upcoming servers if they want to participate in it. And in this invasion guide, I put gameplay where I left all players active, and there was a lot of players, a lot of monsters, and the lag was actually not that bad. And so I think if they render their the monsters and don't give them like crazy special attacks that use up a lot of memory of the players, they're fine to do another World Boss event. Like I personally thought that the World Boss event was a really nice event because you would actually see how many players are on the server. And I think it besides the rewards and all this, I think it motivates people to play on the server if they see there's a lot of people that they can actually compete against. Are there any plans for the Symbol of Shade? Symbol of Shade will start to see some use in the coming expansion or perhaps events in the future. Okay, so they're saying there's going to be a value, but not exactly what. And I'm pretty sure they have already been stacked. Thousands of them have been stacked already. And by them saying here or similar, I could imagine that they're doing a trade-off. Like you can trade your old symbols of shade into like the new version that they want to add, so they can get some of the value of the symbol of shades down. And yeah, by writing it that way, I'm pretty sure this is how it's going to happen. That looks sus already. Here I came up with a suggestion. Is it possible to add a way for us to know how much EXP we earn each kill? And also EXP per minute. Could you add the setting option to enable disable it? I don't know what to say. Like, you kill one monster. This is your experience with each kill, right? You just time 1 minute and look at your experience, do the difference. Pretty sure there's no need for anything like this. Like, the value is so small, you can do it in less than 10 seconds. If you, so no value there. When will there be any update, new dungeons that's not cost cash shop related? Okay, irrelevant question. Can you add a new rarity above unique? It consists of very special weapons, armors with special effects which give certain interaction with stats. Okay. This is pretty interesting, and we've seen this on many servers. They are saying no, but in theory that's pretty good. So if you make, like, let's say a weapon can drop, and it has by default 40% crit damage and 20% crit rate. That's just the default drop. That is less incentive for the players to hunt good weapons. So if it could have, the weapon could drop from 20% crit damage to 40% crit damage, and from a range from 10% crit rate to 20% crit rate, that would make hunting those weapons really nice, and they could also add a new scroll to reroll one of the stats. So basically, people are trying to hunt weapons that have one roll max, and then they roll the second roll max by themselves. And I think systems like this are really nice, and the reroll could be similar to pet system, of course not that expensive, but could also be like an additional penny thing. Hello, is there any new mechanic that would benefit active ringmasters on dungeon rather than just an alt ringmaster for extra reason? For example, having dungeon boss aggro on alt ringmasters, blah blah blah. Yes, with the addition of Barrier of Life, ringmaster's new skill will provide them with more utility to keep players alive during dungeon runs, and you could definitely play well with some of the new mechanics coming. So their answer is not referring to anything he asked. So he asked, like, if they can bring something in the game, so ringmasters cannot just play it on a second monitor and easy peasy doing some dungeon solo. And they are arguing with a skill that can easily be done on a second monitor again. So good that they are introducing the skill, but they sadly didn't answer this guy's question at all. How much is the minimum use of accounts per IP that a user can use at the same time? Okay, so he confused minimum with maximum, but yeah, there's none. Which is pretty interesting, because I remember that someone was putting 20 characters in city by name, like, I don't know, character 1, character 2, and just making funny poses with them, and all his characters got banned. So if there's no limit, why did they ban all his characters? Do you have any plans to implement guild houses? Absolutely. Guild houses are a feature we'll be working on of the upcoming expansion, although they could differ from how may be used on them on Flyff. For the upcoming expansion, okay, so we're already getting guild houses. That's pretty nice. Like, I personally would really like guild houses that are based on quests that your guild has to do as a guild together. And those quests earn experience, and with this experience, you can buy furniture in your guild house, and those furnitures give the whole guild stats. That would be amazing. Hi, I've been a player since 2007. I know people have asked this already through Discord chat, but can we consider 7 active siege players inside the siege arena and maybe a rework on the siege map to be a little bit bigger to accommodate changes on player count if possible? We do have some exciting changes in addition to the guild siege map, including additional arenas coming in the next expansion. Okay, that sounds really good, because it's pretty boring to play in the same arena every time. It would be nice if you don't even know what the upcoming arena is, so you have to adapt your strategy to different maps. Sounds really good, and I think 7 people inside the arena is already the max. Like it should not be more than 7 people at the same time in the arena. Otherwise it's going to be really messy with shot calling, focus call and stuff like this. But like increasing the lineup itself, maybe like 20 players, so more people are able to play each guild and no people have to like substitute. That's also a really good idea. And I'm really curious about how the new arenas are going to turn out and if they were able to properly check for position bugs, rubber banding before releasing new maps. Blah, 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 blah. My question is related to fashions as it's one of the releases I'm looking forward to every maintenance. Aside from the speed fashions, will you be releasing new fashion designs? The non-speed fashion was like a re-release from Flyff PC, but looking forward to new and more creative designs in the future. We are currently working on expanding our fashion production and hope to see some more frequent and new designs in the future, which may not all be speed fashion sites. That basically, I don't know, I know they're saying something else, but in reality this sounds like if we are investing time and work for a fashion set, we want it to be speed fashion sets because we make way more money with those. That would be like the reality translation, I guess. What I love about this game and why I keep coming back to it is the great customization of the characters. What? What? Okay. And having all costumes from Flyff PC is something I greatly enjoy. However, I noticed one of the traditional sets, like traditional Taiwan Chili, okay. Okay, so basically he's just asking for a couple sets, but like I was stumbling about great customization of the characters. Like if you look at what you can do in new games nowadays, character customization wise, you can recolor basically everything, you can add all kinds of different stuff to your gear, like the detail you can adjust your faces in other games and your like the whole body structure, it's insane. So yeah, I guess if that guy finds any of those games, he's never returning. Hi, it might be a little bit late, but I just want to ask if you're considering opening a server for Australian, New Zealand players, as siege times for CS servers are too late for us and Rises has high ping, thanks. We do not have any immediate plans to launch a server in Australia, unfortunately. If you're having trouble with latency in other servers, you can try some VPN solutions such as Exitlag, which may help. Yeah, it would be nice if they would have added my Exitlag subscription link here, huh? That would be sweet. About upcoming weapon piercing. Will two-handed weapon piercing success rate from 5 to 10 is the same as from 0 to 5 to 100? If not, is this unfair for classes without an offense or shield? Okay, yeah, that's basically the common answer. Like you have 1 to 5, right? Then you have it again, because, yeah. So perfectly fine. It's the same as we already discussed in the video where we were talking about the upcoming piercing changes. Controversial question that would love to be put to rest. If I element my suit the same element as the mob, will it increase the mob chances or chances of missing me? For example, fire damn weapon on fire mob equals miss. No, the element in the suit does not interact with the monster's chances of missing hits. On you, it only affects damage and defense. This is correct. I don't know who came up with this. What is the lore relevant language translation? Japanese, English, Korean? Because some translation might differ in lore. If there is no real answer to this, could you just say this translation because you're the official run game? Original lore of Flyff is Korean, although any new lore you may see in the coming expansion and the ones after will be originally English. Are there any plans for an official wiki either by you or through a community volunteer program? No, we do not have any plans to create an official wiki right now. There's a community-made wiki though, which is available in-game through the start menu helper, where, as far as I know, Suede still didn't get like the full credit or any rewards for doing it, which is really sad. It's evident that drops from master pets have different odds depending on your and the master pet's level. What is the calculation applied to this? Okay, so we have talked about this quite a bit. And yeah, how to explain it like in more detail, and we've already done it. So if you're higher than a monster, you will get a reduction as soon as you're 2 to 3 levels higher. And this is why we're always saying, like, if you want to make the most money and still get decent experience, leveling at monsters 3 levels over your own level is the best rate. You will have a slight drop rate reduction, but still have like a decent experience rate. This is also the reason, if you see right here, why I don't recommend people leveling at monsters so much higher than their own level, because they will basically get almost no drops. And then the game feels really bad, especially for free-to-play players. And then if you're 16 level below a monster, you can still drop really good. And if you're lower than 16 levels, you will drop to 0. So this is important for giant hunting. So if you are like 140, all giants to 129 will give you a decent drop rate, and you can farm them with no penalty. Is there any chance in the future to make glow effect on shields? Not currently, but we could consider adding the ability to apply visual glows to your shields. It's a nice idea. Hello, I just want to ask if the camera boards will be reset for the coming updates. I don't know if it's true, I just saw some post on Facebook that it will reset. Yes, we've already discussed this in a previous video that I uploaded yesterday. Do you have any plan in the future to have another event where a guild can customize their guild logo? For example, if a guild wins a guild siege for n amount of time consecutively? There definitely could be more events in the future that allow participating or winning guilds to customize their logos. Keep an eye out for the guild events in the future. Okay. Can you please change the PK system so that the karma points get deducted automatically? It's already reworked. We've discussed this. They want the maid fashion. Okay, that's the fashion request. Will dungeons from the original Flyff Gold be coming to this version, like Wilds, Animos, Palgas, Anku? The original Flyff dungeons may not be added exactly how they were, but you can expect to see an essence of them in the future, modified to fit Flyff Universe better, which basically says, in reality translation, we will try to create dungeons that look a little new, but are like the least amount of effort for us to program. Guild housing system, we've already had a question regarding this, but the couple system, they have no plans to add this in the future, and we are done. So if you guys have any more questions, feel free to leave them below the video. I will try to answer them ASAP. And if you always want to stay up to date on the latest Flyff news, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Cheers, guys.